Hey. Hey, what's going on? Good morning, good morning. That beat is just always so live. Hey, loving it. We getting ready to get it in. Let's do it, folks. Welcome to the Real Deal Sports Show. We talking sports of all sorts. Getting ready to get it in on this morning. Can't believe we flipping the calendar to June already. Can't believe we doing it so quickly. I'm the Fanatic. Welcome to the Real Deal Sports Show. Of course, doing it with, of course, DJ BacSpin on the ones and twos. And, of course, the one and only, the legend. What up, Rad, man? You know he's here, co-pilot, rolling with me. What up, Rad, man? Good morning.
Oh, man, here we go. Another sports weekend. Man, it's been hot and popping in the Rock. Got in late from that Rochester Americans hockey game last night, Fanatic. Another big, almost a sold-out crowd, but it was packed up in there. Man, a couple kegs of brew went down last night easily, man. By the end of the second period, they did at least 2 to 3 kegs down there last night. Easily. Rochester American fans, man. Rochester has some serious hockey fans. Glad the team was able to show them, treat them to a great game, a great series, and a shocking season. They end up playing all the way to June 2nd. It's shocking to most of us here in the Rochester and all of Western New York, especially Sabre fan, to see this team come so far. But before we get back into that, Buffalo 10, we salute you. You'll never be forgotten, Buffalo 10. We always salute and give our love and power to the Buffalo 10 as always, will be dedicated on this show every week. Keep getting well, DeMar Hamlin. I don't know about making the Buffalo Bills roster, but hey, man, you get well soon, man, because you be one of my cuts right now, man, just to tell it like it is. But DeMar Hamlin, get well soon, man. Get well soon. You're a nice young man. You're a good young man, but, man, get well soon, DeMar Hamlin. Last but not least, Challenger Community News, largest weekly African-American newspaper. Check it out, this week's Challenger. Level Up. Because we're off this week of June 1st, but last week was called the cover Level Up. Erie County Chairwoman April Baskin's visionary leadership in the historic new Level Up program, where she's trying to make sure that Black businesses, Buffalo Black businesses and Western New York Black businesses are a part of the pie with that new stadium being built out there in Orchard Park. On Monday, they'll break ground on the stadium. Of course, they've already broken ground, but they'll continue. They'll have a ribbon cutting ceremony. Roger Goodell, who's originally from Jamestown, New York, will be there. Other dignitaries, as well as the Pagulas, will be there for the groundbreaking ceremony this coming Monday morning. So if you want to get out there and see the ground broken, which has been broken by fans for years out in those parking lots, those rock pile parking lots out there. Nothing new to see, but I'm sure you can see it on the news later in the day when they cut the ribbon and officially break ground on the building of the new Buffalo Bills football stadium. But April Baskin's article, hey, get money for the Black businesses, Black plumbers, carpenters, the whole 9 yards, and also inside the stadium as well. Vendors getting, like I said, I never seen one Black vendor out at the Buffalo Bills stadium in all these years. If anybody else can tell me if I'm lying, I'm flying. But let me know. I never seen a Black vendor out there. If you're a Black vendor, anybody even seen a Black vendor, call at the radio station 595-1055 and correct the Rad Man if you can. But I'm just telling, I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm just telling you what I know. So I ain't out here BSing around. We're here telling it like it is. I ain't never seen a Black vendor at Buffalo Bills Stadium, but I have seen them at most stadiums that I attend across the National Football League. I've seen Black vendors all over the country at these various football stadiums across the league, but not in Western New York. They dance to a different beat, I guess, Fanatic in Western New York. But we'll see April Baskins putting their feet to the fire. Hey, before the Pagulas owned the team, Ralph Wilson and his crew, they advertised in Challenger Community News. They advertised on WBLK radio over there in Buffalo. They advertised with us. We haven't had one penny since the Pagulas have been in charge over there for advertising dollars, Fanatic. What do you think that's all about?
Wow. Hey, you putting it right out there. And that's why we have a platform like this to tell it like it is. Like you said, Radman, you ain't telling them what you heard. You telling them what you know. And if
Exactly.
that is a shame, and that never comes out. We talk about how great Brandon Beane is. We talk about DeAndre Hopkins maybe coming in the new stadium, but to hear that, not one penny, not one dime, not a dollar of advertisement. Come on, man. Sick. That's sick when you really hear about it and think about it, for such a great community like the Challenger Community News that's been here, done that, and been tried and true for the community to not put any advertisement in. Come on now. At least, come on. We got Juneteenth coming out. Hey, I know some people would much of their chagrin would be if the Bills put something in for Juneteenth. Come on, man. Come on. But I think even something like that, or even the big thing that I love with the Bills we talked about last week, talking about saving lives. They're going to have like the AED training coming to Johnny B. Wiley Stadium coming up June 10th. Why wouldn't they put that information in the Challenger Community News? Come on, Radman. You tell us, Radman. You always give people what they want and pull us behind the curtain. Why in the world are they not putting dollars in the Challenger Community News? Talk to us, Radman.
Because they saw how those dollars. You mentioned Johnny B. Wiley Stadium. That used to be known as the Rock Pile. That's where the Buffalo Bills used to play from 1964 to 1972. The Buffalo Bills played at that Johnny B. Wiley, which is now known as Johnny B. Wiley Stadium. They tore down some of the columns. They only left the main column up at the main entrance. But those columns used to go all the way around that stadium. Used to be a great facility for football, baseball as well. The Buffalo Bisons used to play there as well. And tailgating used to be, as you can see, how they just like they tailgate out in Orchard Park, they used to tailgate all along Jefferson Avenue. And who made the money back then? Black people. A lot of black folks made money for parking, ribs. I remember the BacSpin liquor store down the street on Sundays. You had to go out the side door. They selling liquor. Because you couldn't sell liquor legally on Sunday, but they had a little thing going on the side door. If you knew about the side door, you got your pint for a certain price on game day, and people knew all about it. Line almost halfway down the street. People getting their drink on, getting their eat on, getting it on, and that money was in the community. And ever since 1972, when the Juice left that stadium and the Juice turned it loose out in Orchard Park, you haven't seen a penny come back into the black community of Western New York. Where's the reciprocal in this? Where's the black politicians, Fanatic? I just don't get it in Western New York. They sleep at the wheel. At least April Baskin's trying to make something happen. But that stadium should have been downtown. It should be where everybody could benefit, where you could turn it into a convention center. Now at the Orchard Park, they talking about having weddings and different events at the stadium. And who get the money? The Pagulas!
Wake up!
Buffalo people! The people of Buffalo don't get a dime!
Yep.
They don't get a dime! What's wrong with y'all? Every other stadium is downtown. Buffalo. I mean, not Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Baltimore, Cincinnati. It's downtown. Why do you think it's downtown? So that everybody can make money. You turn it into a convention center during the off season, use it for 250 plus days a year. What is it doing in Orchard Park? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. People making money. The Pagulas make all the money, and the people in Buffalo don't make no money? Fanatic, does that sound right to you?
I can do simple math. I can do more complex math, but it's simple math today, Radman. That makes no sense. And if people need to come out, I know you and Mighty Oba, I know was big in trying to bring the stadium downtown, land being actually purchased. So it's crazy. So it just seems like on the low, while we're all kind of sleeping and eating our ribs and good buffalo hoagies and great pizza and wings, the Pagulas making sure they get every single last dime. And so I will say, Buffalo, they're doing a great job of bringing people downtown. I was just at the Children's Museum in Buffalo last weekend, the Harbor Center, beautiful. I know the Pagulas have a big mainstay and like the Harbor Center and where the Sabres play in the old, and I think it is still KeyBank Arena, downtown Buffalo. But it's crazy. They got a stranglehold on that downtown money, as well as having that really, really, like you're saying, monopoly. And let's be real. We like Orchard Park because that's what we know. But Radman, you telling it like it is, because you seen it from a national perspective to say most cities aren't like that. Most of them aren't. So why are we doing this just so we can be out there in the wide open, wind just ripping through us, Come on, if we had it downtown, man, that would just be so much better. Where we don't have to drink and drive. Not saying I did, but just saying all those people trying to drive and trying to get out of there is a mess. I won't even talk about it. It reminded me of Darien Lake. I can't believe Darien Lake still only has 2 real entrances. They try to add a third. Come on, we got to do better with Darien Lake with that. But the entrances in and out of the Ralph is not. It's hard to get out of there, man. So it is.
They were supposed to build an overpass that would give you that extra highway to get out of there, and they never did it. Other stadiums, Baltimore, Miami, you leave out. You right at the expressway. You're getting on the interstate right out of the Inner Harbor when you leave from the downtown M&T Bank Stadium, downtown Baltimore. Cincinnati, they got a nice way to get out of town quickly as well. Miami got the best. They got a walkover where the fans walk over. The fans aren't walking out in traffic, getting hit by cars and things of that nature out there in Orchard Park, staggering out onto the road. They have a walking bridge where the fans walk above the highway to get to their cars or get to the transportation. And then down below is the highway that gets you out of Hard Rock Stadium there in Miami. In Miami, Florida, down there at their stadium. It's beautiful ways, beautiful plans. It's like Western New York is just behind the 8 ball. But read about it in Challenger Community News. April Gaskin's article. Get my reflections on the 2023 PGA Championship as well. Pick it up this week, every week. Challenger Community News, Western New York's largest weekly African-American newspaper, thechallengernews.com, or call 585-766-3590 for advertising. If you have articles, send it to editor@thechallengernews.com. So get that in from our lead sponsor, Challenger Community News. Follow the Radman on Twitter at George Radman. Subscribe to the show. Go to YouTube. Check us out on YouTube. Notify us, like us, subscribe, and you'll get you can catch this show at any time you want. You'll get the notifications and the whole 9 yards. And for all the people that recently subscribed, thank you so much for subscribing to the show. We appreciate the love for the show, and we'll get back to you. Definitely, we can continue these fine broadcasts for you and your listening audience. And let's get back to the Amerks. The Amerks were eliminated 1-0 last night. Malcolm Subban stood on his head once again, made outstanding saves. The Amerks just could not get – it seems like the speed and power of the Hershey Bears was just too much for them. And also when they lost their winger, Linus Wasback, that guy, once he went down, you could see the scoring. That guy was setting up people. He was scoring goals. He was a big loss to the Amerks on the offensive side. Just the one series that was weird, that they didn't win one game at home. It was a 6-game series. They didn't win one game at home, but they went on the road and won 2 games down there at Hershey Park. So the Amerks, you had a great season. And BacSpin, we have a soundbite from head coach Seth Appert after the game when we were asking him questions after last night's game. Let's hear what he says about the Amerks' accomplishments.
What we created, we didn't give up very much at all tonight, and I thought we created enough to win. Even we get a penalty at the end, and we had great scoring chances on the short-handed to try to tie it there. So you certainly missed Linus tonight when he went out, with the exception of a few games. Coming back from his injury, you look at the first stretch of games of the playoffs, the first 6 games, and then the last couple. You could argue that he was one of our best forwards, in the playoff run. So, told him how proud I am of them. Proud I am of how they represented the organization, how they represented the Amerks, the city. How fortunate I felt to get to coach him, and what they gave me, the run that they gave our staff and our fans, and this was special. And we didn't, there's only one team that'll be the Calder Cup, but we talked about this core group of guys. Last year I think it had been 20 years since we won a playoff series, and now we've won 4 in 2 years, and within 2 games of being in the Calder Cup Finals, and there's going to be a North Division banner in this rink for the first time in 2 decades. And it's not the banner we wanted, but it's still a banner we're going to be damn proud of.
Absolutely. Seth Appert, I like this guy. He's a good head coach. He doesn't make any excuses. He doesn't try to whitewash anything. He tells it like it is. I like how his enthusiasm. He's always enthusiastic. Win, lose, or draw. This guy gives it to you like it is and answers your questions right point blank. I like him as a head coach. Their Sabres are coming up. They signed all their draft picks, which they haven't done during the Pagula. Remember, the Sabres have not made the playoffs during the Pagula era. Ever since the Pagulas bought the Sabres have not made the playoffs. That's more than a decade old, y'all. To say now the farm team has finally made the playoffs 4 out of the last 6 years. And this year was unbelievable. You heard the accomplishment of the head coach saying where they've been, what they've done the last 2 years. And they just won an Eastern Conference banner for their division, for their conference. So there will be a new banner raised when they come back in the fall. He's done a hell of a job with the team. The front office, Kevin Adams, I guess he got tired of selling the gear in the Sabres store, and he's now taking time and getting down to business and making some good moves. They got a college goalie named Levi that looks like a promising goalie, but Malcolm Subban should get a shot with the team because he's not no ringer. He's an NHL goalie playing in the minor leagues. He played with the Boston Bruins, for the Providence Bruins, their farm team, for several years. Then he went over to the Las Vegas team. The Las Vegas Knights was in their goal the last 2 years. And guess what? Who's in the championship game in the Stanley Cup Finals this year? The Las Vegas Knights. So he's been playing with a lot of quality teams, quality organizations, first-class organizations. This guy should get a chance to be the Buffalo Sabres starting goalie next season. I know they got the top draft pick that looked good at the end of the only few games, the sample size Levi played. He looked very well. I would have Levi and Subban as my goalies next season, up with the home team, with the parent club, the Buffalo Sabres, starting out. Because Malcolm Subban showed under pressure, this guy did not give us a bad game. The team just couldn't score against a much physical and faster. The physicality of the game took its toll on the Amherst. I mean, they slammed those guys everywhere but loose, Fanatic. Man, they were hitting them in the glass, the boy, everywhere they could. They were hitting them. Very physical Hershey Bear team, older team too. There was an older guy. I remember some of those guys from 1050 McElrath. So several guys they had played in the NHL. So they were a veteran team against a young team because the Sabres, the Amherst are the development team for the Buffalo Sabres. So they take their draft picks, bring them in after a year or so in other amateur leagues, professional leagues. They bring them up here where this is like AAA. If you compare it to the minor leagues of baseball, they bring them to the AAA team, which is the Rochester Americans. And these guys are young, and they got great playoff. They're Jerry Kulich. I think he should be brought up too. They got several guys that I think you're going to see the future's bright, Fanatic. I can say something nice finally about the Buffalo Sabres. The future looks a hell of a lot brighter with the guys they have in Rochester and also some of the other guys that they have playing overseas and in some of these other leagues right now as well. The Sabres should be good for the next 5 to 10 years. Hopefully, they just missed the playoffs this year. Hopefully now they have a goalie. They may have 2 goalies that can help them make the playoff, break that 10-year streak or drought, which is almost unheard of not making the playoffs in the National Hockey League when half of the teams in a 32-team league, half the teams make the playoffs every year. There's no excuse. The Sabres should be there next year, Fanatic.
Yeah, that's going to be good. That's going to be good. And that's really interesting. So it is it's fun to see. I'm glad to see the local team, not only Buffalo, but really Rochester getting a chance to really be celebrated and seeing those packed houses. I'm sure those kegs, man, they haven't had to bring in that much beer this late into summer or this early into summer. So it's that is really, really a cool thing. And so I hope to see, I know you're always great at kind of predicting and saying where should people go. So I hope our man Subban can go ahead and get a chance to get on to the big stage. Hey, hopefully it's with the Sabres, even if it's not, just with another organization. Like you said, the Golden Knights are in the Stanley Cup, and I know they get a chance to play against the Florida Panthers. So that's really, really interesting to see. So happy for the hometown, the 585, having something to cheer about at this time of the hockey season. So that is really cool. Great way to watch that and let us know what's going on, Rad, man.
Yeah, definitely. Because Malcolm Subban and the goalie for Hershey, Hunter Shepard, were both outstanding, man. They played their angles very well. They were both sharp. Hunter led up in the previous game in Hershey, but Malcolm Subban was sharp the entire series. If it wasn't for him, the Rochester Americans had no chance to even have this series go 6 games. This guy stood on his head night after night, made all kinds of saves. I mean, he stopped 41 out of 42 shots the other night just to get the series back to Rochester. So my shout out to Malcolm Subban and also to the entire Rochester Americans team and their front office. First class organization. Good luck. We'll see you back in the fall. And now we're ready to head into back to PGA. We're going to head to golf and back to the PGA tournament once again. But first, Miriam Rivera Insurance. Hey, it's springtime. I saw School of the Arts last night at their prom going on. I thought I was going to get a fish fry, but the kitchen wasn't open for the general public because School of the Arts had the Urban Euphoria sold out. I mean, it was packed, man.
O-T-A Posse. Rest in peace, our old gym teacher, Mr. Greg Walters. Mr. Walters, man.
Yes, indeed. And it was packed up there. And the parents, I love to see the parents. They were in the car over by the French Quarters where I was trying to get to, waiting to park there, waiting to pick their kids up. Because that's what you got to do. Get your kids, pick them up after fine events. And it looked like all the kids had a great time last night. They were having a great time as I was next door trying to get a fish fry over there at the French Quarter. But, talk to my man Nick. A shout out to Nick over there. Cool people. But hey, rode out of there last night after the hockey game, popped, then boom, made my move home after that. Hey, but next, Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency, Auto, Home, Health, and Life Insurance, 1038 Lyle Avenue, 511 Bean Road, Suite B. Call 585-360-0094. Give our friend of the show, Miriam Rivera. She's been our lead sponsor for ever since we've been on the air almost here over 3 years now. Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency. Check her out. If she saved me and my family money, I know she can save you and your family money. Motorcycle time, kids, get the hoopty for the kids going to college, getting the graduation presents. Get them some insurance too. Check out Miriam Rivera. She can get the deal done for you right now. Yes, indeed. And who's our next guest, Fanatic?
Hey, we got to go ahead and hey, I always love introducing this guy, man. This is another brother from another mother, man. Hey, I'm not going to talk about his jump shot, but hey, his jump shot is is all right there in the corner, man. If you leave him open at the corner, top of the key, the one and only my man, Marquel Slaughter, will be able to hit that jump shot for you. But Marquel's coming on to the show, just one of the finest journalists in all the nation, and we get lucky to have him here in Rochester, New York. So Democrat and Chronicles top reporter, Canisius College grad like myself. You could always follow him. Literally the best follow on Twitter, one of the best follows as well in all of Twitter land, even with all the buffoonery with Elon Musk and going on. He's still one of the best follows. They can't contain my man, Marquel Sports. Check him out. Add a follow at Marquel Sports on Twitter. The one and only Marquel Slaughter. What up, my man? How you feeling, big time?
Good morning, guys. I'm chilling, man. I got a long day today, so I'm just getting ready for the day. Last long sports day of the year for me, basically.
Yeah, what all the baseball and softball? Rochester.
Yeah, I'm covering softball today. Yeah.
Nice. Is that down at Dwyer Stadium, or are they just gonna play baseball down there?
No, softball's gonna be at Schroeder.
Oh,
baseball, no. Yeah. Our other reporter covers baseball. Whatever I don't cover, I don't follow because my sports keep me pretty busy, man. So I couldn't even tell you where baseball's playing.
Got it. Got it.
But Marquel, you're here also. You're covering. Good luck with covering those sectional games today. But we're also here to talk about the PGA Championship that was here a few weeks ago here in Rochester, New York. And there was an unfortunate incident that took place on Sunday, on Championship Sunday at the PGA. Could you let our listeners in, let them know what took place on PGA Sunday, Championship Sunday?
Yeah, so I got to cover PGA for the first time. Was it 2 weeks ago now?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was only there Saturday and Sunday. Saturday was the rainy day, but Saturday was fine. I was on the course. I walked at least 10 holes on Saturday, walking with the leaders. And then so when I go back Sunday, I'm thinking I'm going to do the same thing. And unfortunately, my day ended right when it began, basically at T1. Went to the first hole to watch some of the leaders tee off at around 2:20. I want to say it was Corey Connors was up when I went up there. I went under the rope onto the course to try to get videos. I was nowhere near the golfer at all. And I don't know, some PGA staffer that we believe to be a PGA staffer just start tripping,
What?
asking where's my. First of all, I'm a black man at a PGA event, at a sports event. Period. My badge is always going to be on my chest. My lanyard is going to always be around my neck. I'm not walking around without it. So I go under the rope. The first thing he asked for is, "Hey, where's your badge at?" Or "Where are you credentialed to be here?" or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's lucky I turned the video off, because that's when I turned the video off. But I turned the video off, stopped recording. I show him my badge. I think I'm going to be all right. And he just gets even madder and madder, just starts screaming, talking about, "You're not supposed to be here. You don't got the right, you don't have the right credentials. Your credentials are supposed to look like this, blah, 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 blah." And I'm sitting up there like, we start having a whole argument on the course, bro. At the first hole, I'm telling him like, "Yo, I've been here all day Saturday. I was on the course with the same credentials, walking around. I never had a problem." He's not trying to hear it. He's getting madder and madder, and I'm trying not to lose my cool at this moment, because I catch myself in the middle of the argument, like, man, I'm not about to win this argument with this man, bro. Like, we're in the middle of the PGA Championship at hole 1. There's hundreds of people here.
Thousands.
What was that?
Thousands of people there. Thousands of people there.
Yeah, literally on Championship Sunday.
Did you get the name of this official PGA official?
No, we've been in touch with the PGA. We met with them once already and expect to meet with them again. Because I did file a complaint with them for the man was out of line. He was tripping, and of course the optics don't look good when you're the only black person getting screamed at in front of thousands of people. Like, so my union and my Gannett in the DNC, we filed a complaint to the DEI department at PGA. They have a good idea who he is, but no, I don't know who he is yet. But that was my mistake. It was the heat of the moment. I was mad, man. Like, I didn't get the man's name, title, nothing like that. The best thing I could do at that point is just leave the course and call my editor and tell him what happened. But I don't have his name yet, but we're pretty close to finding out who this man is and demanding an apology, because the man was out of line, totally unprofessional. He threatened to take my credentials, which would have stopped me from working. Like, the man, we had the PGA Championships. The man don't know where I flew from, where I came from to cover that event. Like, it was really, really petty, very, very petty. You would have thought I was a spectator, like a vigilante, just jumping on the course doing cartwheels or something. Like, the man was out of line, and I've never had to experience anything like that on the job at all, especially at a professional event like the PGA.
Absolutely, and I saw you later on in the day, a little later on in the day, at the 18th hole, and we were under the rope. We came through the ropes. We were there, and you saw how we were treated professionally at the 18th hole, and so that just shows you. And you had the same credentials on that you had on the first hole, correct? So
at that point, I'm like, hey, if they're gonna kick me out, it's the end of the event now. So I went. So we went under the rope. I do want to thank you, George, for being somebody I can confide and talk to after that, because that was a very difficult time. And of course, as you know, it wasn't a lot of black media there for me to talk to about stuff like that. I think you might have brought half of the black media that was up there. But it was a real bad experience. But I do want to thank you for being there and being somebody I can talk to about, because of people that have not experienced racism, they wouldn't consider that to be anywhere near prejudice or racist at all. But it was certainly prejudice, the way the guy just uniquely pointed me out, and I'm pretty sure I'm the only person he talked to like that the whole weekend. It was really humiliating, really embarrassing. Never ever in my professional life was I ever treated like that. The man was tripping. But I do want to thank you for being there to talk to about that.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Because you were hot and you had a right to be hot about that situation. We talked about it. You came along with me. I said, come on now. We're going down here and we're covering this the event. We covered the end of it. We covered Brooks Koepka, and we saw all the golf. We were on 18th right there where the media should be, right on the course as they finished the 18th hole. And you were able to get the coverage there on 18. Didn't know who this person was back at number one. You had the credentials on all week. Didn't have any other issues. Obviously, one bad apple don't stop a show. You came on. We were able to cover the event toward the end. But I'm glad, as we were talking about that day on the 18th hole, follow up, send a letter, and that's what you got to do. When prejudice or discrimination, or you just not treating right people out there in radio land, and I'm not talking about just the PGA. I'm talking about everyday life on jobs. Put it in writing. Put it in writing. What happens? Hey, don't know. And when I say writing, don't be using those code words that you do on texting and all that crap. Write the full sentence. You need to write full sentences. If you're not writing full sentences, learn how to write a full sentence. Practice writing full sentences. Write a couple paragraphs, describe the situation of what happened, and then you send it to the powers at B. And what does the DEI? What does that stand for the PGA? What did that? You said you sent it to the DEI department.
Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. DEI. And actually, the woman from the department that I'm talking to, she's actually a Buffalo native, like I am. So it's pretty cool to connect with that woman. My job has been very supportive. When I told one of my editors that I was writing a letter, she started talking to me about it right away, and she immediately identified that, yeah, this was a problem that we got to take care of. And all my editors, everyone in management and the union, they took this pretty seriously. So I'm glad I have a lot of support here in Rochester, and even my friends back at home on social media. When I tweeted about it, when we made the letter, and I tweeted about it last week, I got a lot of support. So I do want to thank people for empathizing with me.
You definitely. You're welcome. And like I said before, this is how you handle it professionally, the way you handle it. I'm so proud of you of how you handled this situation and making and just didn't sweep it under the rug, brought it to the attention of the diversity inclusion the department there of the PGA. And now you talking, you're getting things going. And hopefully we're going to have you back on show to let us know how this whole thing is resolved down the road. And because I know you gotta get out there for the softball games that you're covering, and people can read your articles in the Daily Democrat and Chronicle newspaper, and also they can read it online as well at the DNC website. Because you, James Johnson, and the rest of the crew, Sal Mariano, all you guys do a great job covering sports in the Democrat and Chronicle newspaper.
Thank you. Yeah, please, democratandchronicle.com, guys. You can catch our stuff on there all the time. At Marquell Sports, if you like food and little basketball jokes. I'm tweeting about the finals right now. Julian, who's winning the finals, man?
Come on, man. We know that. Hey, that bully ball looked like me at the CAC back in the day, man. I like seeing Eric Gordon get down like that. So, hey, I got Denver in 5, baby. Denver in 5.
Nah, I like Miami. I like their experience, man. I'm not going back down from. They got a lot of finals and playoff experience. You know, I'm a Raptors fan, so you know Lowry got that ring over there. I like their experience, man. So I'm still rolling with Miami.
Well, and to be Quell, yo, you always go like you don't care if you the only one on one side, or you all good with all that. So hence why I'm not surprised at all that with a terrible situation like that, man. I feel for you, my man. So I'm glad you did stand stand 10 toes down and let them know, hey, diversity, equity, inclusion. We need to talk about this. So proud of you with that. And I know, hey, you always used to get me sometimes at the CAC, but even fantasy football, man. Marquell like, yo, who's Marquell drafting that high in the 4th round? Next thing you know, oh man, that's Todd Gurley, the running back from Georgia. So here we go. So now I'm a little nervous, man. I put my money on my Denver in 5. Now you got me nervous. I should have called you before I put that bet in, man.
But thank you guys for the time. I really appreciate y'all always been supportive, and I'm glad y'all still here with me. we do expect to resolve this with the PGA soon, so I will be in touch. They've been we've had a productive meeting so far, and I expect to have another one pretty soon. But I'm glad everyone's taking this seriously, man, because it just shouldn't happen at all.
Yeah.
At all. It's 2023. It's too much going on out there to where people should recognize what's right and what's wrong, right? And some people choose to not, and that's when people like you step up and help get the word out. So I do appreciate the time, guys.
No doubt.
And thank you again, George, for being there to talk to last week.
Yes, indeed. We appreciate your time. We're gonna have you back on the show real soon. Give us a wrap up of of those sectional games, and also with this wrap up of the PGA situation as well. So we thank you for taking time out your busy schedule to come on Real Deal Sports Show, and we're gonna see you again real soon.
Thanks, fellas.
You the man, quote, safe travels. You look good, my man. You look good.
Yeah, he always looking professional. He be on point.
But nah, he looked good. Like, man, my man, he been running some miles, man, chasing these high school stories, man.
You know, I just stopped eating meat, bro. That's the secret, man.
Okay. All right, y'all. To me, man, that Louisiana a little tough with that, but hey, I'm gonna work on it, man.
And that Saturday, May 27th, with your wrap up of the high school season of the various teams with the articles, outstanding job. So sports fans, hey, we have some good local writers. Follow these local writers, because that May 27th edition of last Saturday's edition with the wrap up of the high school regular season and crowning the sectional champions. Great job, Markel.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great day.
All right, well.
All right, our next segment, Rock Pawnbrokers. You know Sammy and the crew over there on State Street. You got to get over to Rock Pawnbrokers, 559 State Street, 262-9920, area code 585-262-9920. Rock Pawnbrokers. Stop in, see Sammy and the crew. They'll get you straight. If it's pawning or if you want to buy some fly bling and the whole 9 yards, stop in and check those cats out. They'll definitely get it done for you over at Rock Pawnbroker, 559 State Street. And who we got next, Fanatic?
You know who we got. Another legend coming in here, man. Young legend, Radman. We talk about the coaching trees in different sports. Hey, your coaching tree is long, man. It started with me, and now, hey, look at you. Got Quelly Quell on there, Marquel Slaughter, and of course, the one and only right here, man. The director of what he all does. Zeal Talk Upstate, killing the game. Sports director at 105.5 The Beat. I mean, you know it's time for my brother J-GILLZ to come make his appearance. Look at him looking clean. You know what? Hey, man, I see you. I see Radman. Just noted, man. We stepping this game up. But what's going on? Good morning, J-GILLZ. How you feeling?
Oh, man, good morning to the Real Deal family. We got the Fanatic and the Radman in the building. Man, only at the Real Deal Sports Show can we find authentic, genuine stories like the one we just had with a young brother Markel over there covering the PGA. And just to go through that type of adversity and discrimination is terrible. And we're in 2023, but shout out to him and his story, and shout out to the Real Deal Sports Show for allowing that story to be heard across these radio airways, because people need to know PGA was in Rochester for a reason. So come on now, Rochester, we got to stand behind the DNC, stand behind Markel, and really put some more power behind that, because nobody should be treated like that, especially when you are an African American covering the sport of golf. Come on, man. Put some respect on his name.
Yeah, heck yeah. J-GILLZ, as you always said it perfectly. And I just wanted to ask, it's just crazy, Radman. I don't understand. He had the credentials. It's not like, his thing had fallen off, or he didn't have it, or it was hanging out his back pocket or something like that. But he had it, Radman. What kind of buffoonery is this?
Right, and we walked up on the 18th hole. We're right there inside the ropes on the 18th hole. Myself, Carl Jones from TV8 was there with his camera and everything. Everybody working. We're working media. We're right with the other media, and we there working. So it was no problem on the 18th hole. It damn sure shouldn't have been a problem on the first hole. So it shouldn't have been a problem at all. So I don't understand what the problem was. It sounds like to me, just from hearing the circumstance, sounds like an overzealous PGA official that went out of his way. And for him to shout out there and talk loud in front of all those people, it almost embarrassed the young man. Like I said, because I know I would have had to keep my cool from going up and say, hey, man, the guy had the badge, had everything. Had his credentials, had his USA Today. He had 3 badges, man. He had the day, one for the day, the USA Today. This guy's with Gannett. That's a major national publication. Yeah. Come on. He's a heavyweight. He's with the
This ain't Ray and Pookie out there, man. This as professional as he came on the show, as professional as he was at the host. Like you said, right, man, working media. He was there to work and do his job, nothing else. Covering, doing what he gets paid to do. And for that man to overstep is just ridiculous. And that's why we all stand behind you, man.
No doubt.
Better believe that. I'm going to an RABJ meeting today, and that's a story that's definitely going to be brought up.
Exactly, and matter of fact, the RABJ should mention about sending a letter as well and backing this young man on this effort as well. So definitely bring that up at the meeting later today. I'm umpiring. I'm unable to attend that meeting later today, but definitely bring it up. And they should be backing. Rochester Association of Black Journalists should get behind them as well.
Absolutely,
no doubt. Well, I know it's a tough turn. But we're going to go do it. We know we mentioned earlier, I already kind of said my piece, man. I like that bully ball, that Denver. You know what time it is, folks. It's the full court press time with my man J-GILLZ and myself, yours truly, the Fanatic. Hey, we talking the NBA Finals, man. Just here real quick. Like I said, Denver, man. Just some big boys, man. They big, they thick. They got everything, man. I love it, man. To me, they the super Walmart of basketball right now, man. They got cats who can dunk, get nasty on you. They got the man. Hey, people keep saying the Joker's slow. He don't look that slow when he grab that rebound and he start pushing the ball up court. I keep seeing people running behind him. A lot of Anthony Davis of the world. A lot of Bam Adebayo. Even Max Strus was behind. Even in game 1, man. I just think Miami had some open shots. And one of these games, they're going to hit it, maybe get a game, maybe get a second game. But to me, man, I think Denver is overall, they can shoot. They can go to the hole. They got 2 dependable scorers. And for me, they don't look afraid. They don't look like the moment's too big. I haven't seen one bad quarter really from them yet. And definitely not a bad game in this entire playoffs. They lost some games, but they just play well as a team. You can tell they got each other's back, man. And I just want everybody to really key on the Joker, Nikola Jokic. If you look at him, and I think J-GILLZ, hey, I think it's because I had to watch the Lakers with Russell Westbrook. You got to catch the ball up here and all down here to the side. You look at Joker, he always puts it in people's pocket. They not bending down. They going to go right up in their shooting motion, man. So his passes are on point, straight dimes, like all of our wives and our ladies, straight dimes is what my man Nikola Jokic is doing, man. So go ahead, your thoughts on the finals right there. Talk to me, J-GILLZ.
Hey, man, Fanatic, you kind of put the money right there, man. The size is definitely the key element in this game, in this series. It's really reminiscent of when I saw the Golden State Warriors versus the Lakers. I mean, they just couldn't do anything with them. The Lakers were just too dominant, and right now we're looking at 6'10" Michael Porter Jr., 6'8" Aaron Gordon physically, and then you got the Joker right there in the middle doing everything. He could do it all, passing the ball, as you stated, rebounding. Even though the Heat actually did out offensive rebound the Nuggets, I believe 11-6 or something like that. They were pretty even on the boards, but when it comes down to it, it really comes down to the physicality of the game. Denver being able to play physical, get to the line. They got to the line 20 times to Miami's 2, and that's the story of the game. As long as Miami continues to go with this smaller lineup, not being aggressive, driving to the hole, not being able to get to the basket due to being scared of the foul, scared to go up against those towers, then that's going to be the story of the game. They shot 13 threes to Denver's 8, so they did miss a lot of shots, but they got to stop being a jump shooting team. Last time I checked, they traded for Kevin Love. Kevin Love's been playing 20 minutes a game. And he's been gone since that whole Boston series. So they're going to have to insert a little bit of size into that lineup to help out Bam Adebayo, in that front court. But unless they get a little bigger, I don't know what they're going to, whether it's Cody Zeal or Kevin Love, but they have to get a little bit more big. They have to get more physical, and that's going to be telling stories of the game. It's going to be a tough one for Miami to climb out. But, with these adjustments, I'm still looking at Eric Spoelstra as an X factor. I think he's going to brew something up. They busted that zone last game, so we're going to see what they got ready for him. But, it's going to be a tough series, but I'm not ready to count Miami out just yet.
Definitely agree with you. I know some folks out here Appreciate y'all for checking in with us on the YouTube page. Shout out to J-GILLZ. You get a little love right there, my man.
Appreciate
Richmond Dice is talking his talk, man. He said Miami's overmatched, and he said they overmatched. That's what it looked like the other night.
Yeah.
Butler was neutralized 13-7-7. He couldn't get anything done. Going into this series, I thought Jimmy was going to play a bigger role on Jamal Murray, but it's just not the case. He's definitely overmatched right now. He was neutralized, and I'm excited to see the adjustments that Spo's going to make.
Yeah, me too. Me as well. I think Sunday's going to be really telling game. Game 2, I still like it going to Denver's way, and then it's all going to be set up for game 3. Hey, let's see what Spoelstra does to really make it happen. But it's going to be a great series. Hopefully, it'll still be a series by the time we come on next Saturday. But it hopefully should be a good one. Hey, as we keep it moving here, we got some head coaches who were hired. Any thoughts on my man Monty Williams getting a record deal to go to the Detroit Pistons and coach that team? And then surprisingly, at least to me, I didn't see Frank Vogel being the leading man for that Phoenix Suns teams. J-GILLZ, what's your thoughts on those two coaches being hired?
Man, first of all, shout out to Monty. I love to see him getting another job, and then historically $70 million with incentives to make it up to $100 million over that 6 years or something like that.
Yes.
Got to give credit to him. He gets to coach Rochester's own Isaiah Stewart over there. It seemed like with Detroit, they always stocking up on the same positions. They got about 5 point guards, about 5 centers, and nothing in between. It's like, So I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to do with that young squad. But to the bigger point, in my opinion, I think Frank Vogel was an excellent hire for the Phoenix Suns. What I saw him able to do with the Los Angeles Lakers back in 2020, coaching that team to a championship, winning a championship in the bubble. He's always been a defensive guru, even back to his days in Indiana, working with those 2 wings and the Paul George and and those guys back in the day. But I think that I think the offense is not a problem in Phoenix. They're going to be able to do great things offensively, with Cam Johnson at the point, and then you got D-Book and KD. You get a couple more pieces around that, maybe a shooter here or there. Seth Curry's available. But I think that they're going to be fine. But defensively, that's where they're going to have to really hunker down, anchor up, and find and get something out of DeAndre Ayton. And I think that Frank Vogel just might be the coach to do it.
All right, we'll feel that, man. So we're gonna check in on that. My last but not least, just for right now, I know we're gonna bring our last guest on here before BacSpin come and pull us off the air. Hey, I just actually wanted to make sure I shout out our man Carmelo Anthony, man, for him to win the championship. I know we talked about him briefly. I want to give him just a little bit just due, man. He definitely messed up not being a part of the Heatles team. That big 3 in Miami, he really messed up in that career. But we all know we ain't gonna talk about personal lives. But man, my man messed up losing La too. So Melo, he had some big wins, being Syracuse, leading Syracuse to their only national championship in 2003. So shout out to Melo, man, putting on for Western New York, man. And I love that he was the 2021 Social Justice Champion. He does a lot of work in the DMV area, originally from New York. Got camps in Puerto Rico as well. Man, Melo does a lot in the community. So wanted to shout him out. Averages a career average 23.6 rebounds and 3 assists a game in 19 seasons, 10-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA player, and a 2013 scoring champ. So shout out to you, Melo.
I gotta ask you this, Fanatic, because you're the biggest Joker fan I know.
Okay,
and you giving Melo his credit. You know where it's going. You got jerseys on the wall.
Don't ask about the 15.
Yes, sir. So who's getting it?
Well, first of all, we ain't gonna play like all the other media. We don't need to talk about legacy when Joker just really getting started. So to me, we got to see. Time will tell, but it's clearly the Joker, especially if he gets this done. Hey, the Joker 15 is going to be the one that's hanging. Melo going to have to hope that Madison Square Garden gets their his jersey.
That's cool.
No question. Hey, let's bring in my man from Edison Tech, coming in here, one of the top football players in the area, man. Our own Marquand Grimes. What up, Marquand? How you feeling, big time?
I'm feeling good, man. Appreciate you for having me.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you for being on. But just talk to us about your experience at Edison, man, and what is football, the game of football, taught you so far?
My experience at Edison been great. Ever since I came here to Edison, all I want to do is just leave my impact there and give it everything that I got. The support at Edison is great. Dr. Cohen, Principal Scott, Mr. Jordan, everybody in that community. even Mr. Randy, that has been supporting me through day one. So I'm very thankful for that.
And you just came back from remind us of where you just for football. You went to a prestigious camp.
I got invited to the All-American Bowl in Indianapolis.
And when is that?
That was about like 2 weeks ago.
And how did that go?
It went great, man. You know, it was something different. Playing in an NFL stadium at a very young age, being one of the youngest players on the team, it was different. The competition was great. I got my name out there, and we came back with that ring.
Wow! Your team. So your team won the scrimmages or games that per se that they were playing there.
Yes, sir. 14-8.
Wow! And they took you through all kinds of drills and everything at the dome there in Indianapolis.
Yes, sir. It was a 4-day trip, and it was 3 days of practice, and one day had 2 practices, and then the last day was the big game with all different age levels.
Wow. So you had a lot of eyeballs on you, a lot of scouts, a lot of people from the various colleges and things taking a look at you.
Yes, sir.
Great. What's your word of advice for other young people playing sports to be able to get an opportunity? How do you do it? Hard work. What's your advice to them?
Well, my advice is always thank the Lord and pray every day. My second advice is just stand out, do something different that make you stand out to other coaches and other players. Like I'm a leader in my school, but I'm not a talking leader. Like I'll show you what I can do. So, you know, it's all about standing out and what can you do to stand out to be different from other kids. Because you're not just competing versus the kids in your area, but you're competing against the kids all around the nation. So what makes you stand out to get you that scholarship or to get you that playing time?
Absolutely.
Marquand, faith without works is dead is what it sounds like, man. And you putting that work behind it. Glad to hear that you're using your faith and, you know, propelling that faith into different doors for you, man. So we're happy here for you here at the Real Deal Sports Show for sure.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
And how can we follow you? And how can we follow you on Twitter or social media?
You can follow me on Twitter at Marquand Grimes 4, on Instagram at certified_Quan4.
Outstanding. Keep up the good work. And we'll see you at school on Monday. Definitely keep up the good hard work. Congratulations on that prestigious achievement.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks for coming on Real Deal Sports Show. You have a great weekend.
You too.
Yes, it do, gentlemen. There's a lot going on here in the rough. A lot of diamonds in the rough, like Marquand Grimes. And, hey, we just always try to spotlight them right here because that's why we talk sports of all sorts on Real Deal Sports Show. Right, Fanatic?
You know that's what it is. That's what we do. We give you sports from local, national perspective, one-of-a-kind type shows, man. So, hey, we hear the music. We know BacSpin about to jump in here get down on the ones and twos. Hey, he letting us do a thing. We appreciate that. So, my last thing, Marquand, great interview today, man. We going to do what we do always. Hey, check out that French Open. You know I'm rocking with my man Francis TFO. Carlos Alcaraz maybe going for his first championship of this year. So we're going to see. Maybe Coco Gauff can get hers. But that Aya Swiatek, she a bad woman, man. She plays and hits that ball all over the court. Check out the French Open. We're going to talk more about that next week.
Yes, absolutely. Sir. Fanatic, Redman, J-GILLZ. Appreciate you guys, man. Y'all know what it is. Real Deal Sports Show every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. right here on the Beat 105.5. We're going to check back in with y'all next week. And what you always tell them, Redman? Be a good sport.
That's right. Be a good sport, everybody.
No doubt. Y'all keep it locked right where you got it. It's the Back in Time Mix Show is on deck right here on the Beat.